everyone, welcome to a video about a special solo played by young virtuoso Gismo Graf on a tune called So This Is Love. And that is not a regular jazz standard, instead it's a gypsy jazz version of a Disney tune from the movie Cinderella called So This Is Love. And it's a great solo, that has to be said, but I'm also making this because it kind of put a spotlight on an album we're gonna release very soon by the Gismo Graf Trio and Friends. I'm one of those friends. And that album is all about Disney tunes. So this is one of those tunes, and Gismo plays great solos on every tune, but this is one of my favorites, so let's get into it. Per usual, I'm going to talk about the first half of the solo in this video that you're watching right now. And then I'm gonna make another video exclusively for my patrons about the second half of the solo. And you will find that video next week on my Patreon. And I will talk more about that at the end of this video. Let's get started with phrase number 1. This is a really smart pickup to the solo. The chords would be B flat 7 to E flat. And this first phrase is a standard altered lick, right? If you have B flat 7, and I would add a flat 13 and a flat 9, you would actually get a B minor triad on top, and that is what this lick is outlining. And then we get some enclosures to the root, B flat. And then we get this phrase. And that is just a bluesy lick for E flat. If you've been playing gypsy jazz for a longer time, you probably know this typical bluesy lick that is played often by gypsy jazz guitar players. Often on repeat. And you could end it like this. And that's the exact same phrase, only an octave lower, and well, that is not played very often, but of course you can do that. So we get this altered phrase for B flat 7 with flat 9 and flat 13 to a bluesy lick for E flat major. Really cool, really smart way of having these two sounds interacting, altered and bluesy. Let's go to the second phrase. So the chords here are E flat diminished to a 2-5 to E flat, so F minor 7, B flat 7. Now that E diminished is a passing chord from E flat to F minor, and you could also think about C7. It's just a substitution for C7, C7 altered. And the lick that Gismo is playing, that is a lick that you would typically play on C7 altered. Of course, it is just an E diminished arpeggio, but I prefer to think of this bar as C7. C7 altered will give you some more options. One of these options is indeed to play E diminished, but you could also just play another C7 altered phrase. Now there's a little subtlety from the D flat to the B flat by playing a chromatic run, but you only pick the B before the B flat, but actually it's a go stroke. It's not really fretted, it's muted. Kind of gives it a saxophone-like slur quality. Now we get a typical. Now you get a typical phrase for F minor with a bebop flavor. And it's a trick where you play the minor 7 chord from the 5th of the minor chord. So in this case we have F minor, right? And you think about the 5th, which is C, and you play C minor 7. That is exactly what's happening here. So you get kind of this sound. It's a F minor 11 sound, but I like to think of it as playing a minor 7 from the 5th, but then resolving to the root of F minor. Let's go to the next phrase. The phrase starts out with a hidden major scale, just E flat major scale, starting from the 4th degree, but it is played like this. So you get this B flat interfering with the scale and some rest, which makes it sound very special, but it is just based off an E flat major scale. Now we get this G augmented triad. Now the chords here are kind of special. You get the 1 chord, then you get a dominant chord on the 3rd degree, so G7, to the 4th degree, A flat. And that is a progression that you don't see all that much. A famous example would be a song like On the Sunny Side of the Street. It has the same thing, that's in C, so you get E7 to F. It's exactly the same principle. 1, a dominant on the 3rd degree, E7 to F. And here we have E flat, G7 to A flat 6. So what do you play on that G7? Now the best thing to do is to play a sound with a lot of tension. For instance, you could play altered, so you could maybe play resolving to A flat. Or you could do what Gismo does here and play augmented. Might be even nicer in this case. So you get this whole tone scale or augmented sound, and you can do that with a scale or with an arpeggio. That's exactly what is happening here. G augmented. Resolving to a standard phrase on A flat. And then we get this triplet run, which is just a phrase for a C7 altered. Again, same principle as the first phrase where we had this B minor sound of a B flat 7. Now we have a C sharp minor sound or D flat minor on C7. But then resolving on a standard note from the arpeggio, the 5th. In the first phrase we had this going back to the root. Right, and now we have, so we have the same thing where we have this tensioned altered flavor, but then ending on a note from the triad. Let's go to the next phrase. This place in the chord progression is essentially 4 bars of F minor. But the rhythm plays F minor, C7, F minor. And for your solo, you could follow that, or you could just play F minor. And Gismo is choosing to play F minor. Again, going back to this trick where you take the 5th of the chord and play a minor 7. So I mean C minor 7 again. That is a C minor 7 arpeggio. Now we get this bluesy. And that phrase goes down to the 6th. And we get this D half diminished arpeggio. So we go from the C minor 7 sound to this D half diminished sound. And these are very good sounds to remember, to experiment with. 2 different approaches to F minor. We have or. But in this phrase, it's combined and it sounds extremely cool. Kind of bluesy, kind of bebop-y, and the combination is quite delicious. Let's go to the next phrase. This is an extremely cool triplet lick. Not very easy to play. I had to practice that for a while to get it under my fingers. There's a couple of weird position changes. You have to play 2 fingers with your 3rd finger. It's not my strongest point, but by practicing this phrase, I got better at it. So a good place to start if you also have trouble with it. Now this phrase is based in an octatonic scale, where you have a flat 9, so the F sharp, but a regular 13, which is a D, 13, flat 9. Or you can play it here. This phrase has those notes in it because you get an E flat minor sounding phrase and then an A minor phrase. And if you play that scale, it's in there. And this is basically an octatonic scale, but you skip the A flat. You skip that A flat, go immediately to the A. That's one feature, but another feature is that sharp 11, that B. And that is a note that people like to accentuate on the dominant on the 2nd degree. So we're in E flat, the 2nd degree is F, so F7. People like to play that sound. Think about a song like Take the A Train. It's even in the theme there, right? So C to D7. And that's also the dominant on the 2nd degree. So here in E flat, we go to F7. And we want to feature that sharp 11, the B. That's also why the lick ends on that B. So B, the sharp 11 in this case, is part of several scales. It's part of the whole tone scale of F. There we have it. So Gismo could have played that, and actually we could change some notes in this phrase to make it whole tone. We would play the G instead of a G flat. And then we would play a C sharp instead of a C. Or we could stick to octatonic and then we play what it says in the tab. Both are cool and both feature that sharp 11. That was it for this video, the first 5 phrases, and there are 5 phrases left for the second half of the solo, and there is some extremely cool stuff in there as well. And like I said in the beginning of the video, next week I will make a video exclusively for my members over on Patreon at the €10 level. There's several levels. At the lowest level you get access to the tab that you saw on screen today and also a tab of many other videos. And at the €10 level you will get access to this exclusive video and other exclusive videos. So if you want to download the tab and watch that video, take a look at my Patreon. If you like this video, please give it a like, consider subscribing, hit the bell icon to keep updated on my next videos, and of course check out the album called Moments with the Mouse, the Disney themed album of the Gismo Graf Trio and Friends, including people like Ludovic Beyer on accordion and the great Stochler Rosenberg on guitar. So check out that album, Moments with the Mouse. It's not released yet, but soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks. In fact, we're gonna have a release concert, CD release concert on the 30th of July in Stuttgart. If you are close to Stuttgart, maybe you could come to the concert. I will put some links in the description so you can read about it. And hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!